Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 hilarious Eddie Murphy scenes.
I can see! I have legs!
It would be wise for you to put the weapon down.
That's right, fool. Now I'm a flying talking donkey. You might have seen a house fly, maybe even a super fly, but I bet you ain't never seen a donkey fly.
For this list, we're looking at this comedy legend's funniest moments from film and television. We're focusing on character-driven scenes, which means no taped stand-up bits. What's your favorite Eddie Murphy scene? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood, Saturday Night Live.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
Murphy made his claim to fame on SNL, where he reigned as the MVP for nearly 4 seasons. Murphy gave us several classic characters, although few hold a more significant place in sketch comedy history than Mr. Robinson. While Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood never had the showiest production values, Mr. Robinson had even less to work with. Taking place at his apartment where the rent is always late, Robinson taught children about nutrition, procreation, and surviving on a limited budget in the city. Of course, lessons were often cut short, forcing Robinson to flee.
You know, one thing about babies, boys and girls, is sometimes you have to take them for a little stroll, like in another state.
Murphy addressed his audience with childlike innocence, which hilariously contrasted with the setting and adult subject matter. When he reprised the character in 2019, the neighborhood may have changed, but Robinson thankfully hadn't.
I was gone for a bit, but it's now I'm all right.
Number 9, Destroying the Great Stone Dragon, Mulan. Murphy was one of several comedic giants Jeffrey Katzenberg suggested to play the genie in Aladdin. Of course, that role went to Robin Williams, one of Murphy's comedic influences.
Genie of the Lamp!
Murphy finally got to voice a Disney sidekick in Mulan, and as one would expect, he stole the show as Mushu.
I live!
His funniest moment comes early on, when he's tasked with awakening the Great Stone Dragon.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Just as he let one of Mulan's ancestors get beheaded, Mushu has a slight hiccup with the stone dragon. Mushu thus decides to seek out Mulan himself, but not before impersonating his fellow guardian.
Let me hear you say, ow! Ah! That's close enough!
Seeing Mushu wave the stone head is both funny and kind of dark for a Disney movie. How many deaths is he responsible for? Number 8, Crossing the Freeway, Bowfinger.
How do you feel?
I feel kind of strange.
No, you look good.
In one of his most underrated comedies, Murphy plays superstar Kit Ramsey and his nerdy brother Jeff. When Kit goes MIA, Steve Martin's Robert enlists Jeff to fill in. Robert's film is being done on a tight budget, and Kit doesn't even know he's the star. Likewise, Robert keeps Jeff in the dark, most notably in this uproarious scene. Requiring a shot where the action star crosses a busy freeway, Robert tells Jeff that the road is merely populated by stunt drivers. Despite all the red flags, the naive Jeff goes through with the sequence and miraculously dodges all oncoming traffic, although he is forced to do another take.
Okay, but first, let's do this one more time.
It's only made funnier when you consider that Jeff doesn't even have the best eyesight, amplifying the danger. Number 7, Cleaning Up Crime, Coming to America. Although his central characters are usually eccentric livewires, Murphy is calm and collected, not to mention quite charming as Prince Akeem Jaffer.
Excuse me for a moment.
The prince disguised as a peasant keeps his cool when a robber holds up McDowell's, not to be confused with that other fast food establishment. The thief is played by a then relatively unknown Samuel L. Jackson, whose intimidating presence offsets Akeem's relaxed persona.
It would be wise for you to put the weapon down.
It might take Akeem a little while to wrap his head around mopping, but he knows how to put the handle to effective use. With some help from his pal Semi, Akeem wipes the floor with the foul-mouthed bandit. Never bring a shotgun to a mop fight. Number 6, New Sheriff in Town, 48 Hours.
If I lose, I tell you everything you want to know.
About halfway through his SNL tenure, Murphy made his film debut as Reggie Hammond in this buddy cop classic. Murphy quickly established himself as an alpha of the silver screen, and nowhere is that better represented than in this scene. Nick Nolte's stone-faced Jack Cates is the perfect foil for wildcard Reggie, who takes him to a bar where their perp used to work.
Not a very popular place with the brothers.
My kind of place. Always like country boys. They're sure as hell gonna like you.
From the patrons to the decorations, Reggie has every reason to be concerned. Reggie isn't afraid to make a scene, however, showing everyone who's boss.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Or maybe you wouldn't mind if I looked around for a little while then, huh?
While Jack offers some assistance, he lets Reggie run the interrogation. Reggie maybe enjoys messing with the crowd a little too much, but we'd be lying if we said his tirade wasn't hysterical or satisfying.
Put your country ass down.
Number 5. I Can See, Trading Places. Murphy followed up his 48 hours with another buddy picture, this time playing Billy Ray Valentine, a fast-talking street hustler. Pretending to be blind isn't enough for Valentine. He goes the extra mile by pretending to be a war veteran who lost his legs.
Oh, I'd love to help you, man, but I ain't seen nothing since I stepped on that landmine in Viet Cong back in '72.
That's pretty low, and yet Murphy makes Valentine impossible to dislike. A couple of cops see right through his disguise, but Valentine remains committed until he can no longer conceal his legs. Even then, Valentine remains in character, acting as if the police have witnessed 2 miracles for the price of 1.
I can see! I can see! I have legs!
While it appears the cops might let Valentine walk, literally, a misunderstanding lands him behind bars, where his mouth only gets him deeper into trouble.
Bruce Lee was my teacher. Watch this.
Number 4. Action Scene. Dolomite Is My Name.
Hold it, Dolomite.
What do you want?
FBI.
Just as Billy Valentine exaggerated his karate skills, actor Rudy Ray Moore wasn't exactly a martial arts master. Since Moore's movies didn't take themselves that seriously, his inexperience proved to be a likely advantage. Murphy portrays Moore in what might be his best and funniest performance of the 2010s. Moore performs his own stunts in this scene, which isn't saying much. To his credit, Moore does turn in a more convincing performance than the amateur playing the FBI agent. As the camera operator tells Martin, however, not even the magic of the movies can make the fight choreography look authentic.
You're going to jail for a long time.
You gonna have to take me!
And yet Moore struggles to catch his breath as the shoot ends. It may not be the next Shaft, but the results are comedic gold.
Is there any angle that you could shoot this where it looks like he's actually kicking him?
There's no such angle.
Number 3. Family Dinners, The Nutty Professor.
You mess around and mess all little Ernest's golden years, magic golden years, and you're gonna be mad at yourself. That's your nephew.
Baby's got a little gas.
Of all his collaborations with makeup artist extraordinaire Rick Baker, the Oscar-winning Nutty Professor is Murphy's magnum opus. Murphy plays 5 members of the Klump family, spanning 3 generations. Murphy is at his best when the Klumps are around the table, mixing banter with farts.
Who there called my name?
Yeah, I called you up your name is.
While the Klumps have a common love of food, they each have distinctive looks, voices, and personalities. So, it never feels like we're just watching 5 Eddie Murphys plus Jamal Mixon as Little Hercules. You might think twice before bringing a date to dinner, but anyone who comes from a family with no filters will relate to these scenes. Even without all the makeup, Murphy's buddy love can still hold his own against a fellow comedic genius like Dave Chappelle.
Look at Reggie's gums and teeth. Look like his mother had an affair with Mr. Ed.
Number 2. When Donkeys Fly. Shrek.
Hey, I can fly!
You can fly.
While Murphy has done some great physical comedy, his voice is his most valuable asset. His motor mouth was put to especially impeccable use throughout the Shrek franchise. Playing a talking donkey, emphasis on the talking, Murphy brings a firecracker delivery to every line.
That's right, fool! Now I'm a flying talking donkey! You might have seen a house fly, maybe even a super fly, but I bet you ain't never seen a donkey fly!
After sending up Peter Pan and Dumbo, Donkey runs into a certain green ogre. The real magic of this film is the dynamic between Shrek and Donkey, which is established here. Donkey chatters so much that Shrek can barely get in a word. Not that he wants to engage in conversation.
Well, you know what I like about you, Shrek? You got that kind of, I don't care what nobody thinks of me thing. I like that. I respect that, Shrek. You all right.
Some characters have 1 or 2 quotable lines. Donkey has too many to count, and at least 10 of them pop up in this first encounter. Although, few can top waffles.
We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'm making waffles.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Hotel Reservation, Beverly Hills Cop. Funnily enough, Murphy and Michael Jackson would later collaborate on some music.
I'm a small reporter from Rolling Stone magazine that's in town to do an exclusive interview with Michael Jackson. That's going to be picked up by every major magazine in the country. I was going to call the article, Michael Jackson is sitting on top of the world.
Barbershop Scenes, Coming to America. Yes, that's Murphy as Clarence and Saul.
Pound for pound, Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest fighter ever lived.
Oh, come on, man. What about Joe Louis?
The Brown Bomber. Now that was a great boxer.
You damn right.
Duping the Dukes, Trading Places. Don't worry, Prince Akeem gives them some pocket change later.
Oh, see, I made Louis a bet here. Louis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put y'all in the poorhouse at the same time. He didn't think we could do it. I won.
Randolph, leave me alone, Mortimer. Randolph! I'm still not talking to you.
Welcome to the neighborhood, Coming to America. A typical American greeting.
Behold, Simi, life, real life, a thing that we have been denied for far too long. Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, you!
Puss and Donkey Duet, Shrek 2. Dare we say better than the Ricky Martin version? Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Super Cops and Robbers, Beverly Hills Cop. After doing a few buddy comedies, Beverly Hills Cop was the first true test to see if Murphy could carry a movie as the main lead. Murphy passed with flying colors as Axel Foley, a streetwise cop from Detroit who brings his unique methods to the LA crime scene. Axel's wits are on full display at a strip club, where he's dragged Billy and Taggart.
Hi, can I get you some?
Yes, I'm having a great time. Can I have a scotch and soda? And the brothers, what you want, like light beers for the fellas?
Although Axel seems like a slacker, he is the first to sniff out an impending robbery.
See that guy over there in the black coat? Black jacket? Yeah? Well, it's June. Don't you think it's kind of hot for a long black leather coat?
By pretending to be a drunk friend, Axel catches the robbers off guard. That's 2 shotgun stick-ups Murphy has stopped. The experience brings Axel closer to Billy and Taggart, who has a hard time keeping it together in the next scene.
They're not just regular cops, okay? They're super cops. And the only thing missing on these guys are capes.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.